Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Sandy.
So this morning, it's actually not this morning, this afternoon, I would like to introduce Michelle Murphy,
Mhm.
who is running for area,
District 2. District 2.
District 2, for the Board of Education in Newport Mesa Unified School District.
Mhm.
And she is currently the Orange County United Way Associate Director for Advocacy and Health.
Yes.
So let's get started.
Mhm.
I have questions.
Yes.
So, what are your three? They always tell you have to have three more, the most important issues, right? So, what are your three most important issues?
Yep. Well, I think sort of given what's been going on in the world lately, safety in our schools is number one. Creating safe spaces and safe environments for our students to learn and grow is paramount importance to me. I do see the physical safety of a school as being an important issue, but I don't think it's the number one component in terms of making sure our kids are growing up in safe and healthy environments. And I do believe that more mental health, community health, the more mental health professionals and support we can put into a school, and the more sort of community health we can wrap around a school, the better and safer all of our kids will be.
When you say community health, what do you actually
Well,
mean?
I know I've worked in nonprofits for the majority of my career, and currently with Orange County United Way, we do a lot of programming in schools around educational achievement and attainment. And I know that there's a lot being done to help the community get involved in terms of bringing nonprofit programming into schools to help with whether it's after school activities, whether it's healthy, whether it's making a school a healthy school where you're bringing down body weight, taking out sugary drinks, making sure that the school kind of has all the tools it needs to become a healthy school mentally and physically. And I know that that can't be achieved just by the school alone, in that you can bring in community partners, you can bring in nonprofits, you can help with some of that program. I think there's a lot of organizations out there interested in helping the schools and helping the students be successful. And so I'd like to see what I could do in District 2 with our schools, with those schools, to see, is there some additional supports that'll help the school be as safe and as healthy as it can possibly be. That's the first one. You asked for three.
Mm-hmm.
My second is educational achievement for all kids, especially special needs kids and English language learners. We have a big English language learner population in one of my schools in the district. I have personal experience with special education, and I just know that that educational achievement and progress is very important, that these families need help, that they need additional supports, that they need to be able to feel that they can go to the school or the district with their concerns and that they're addressed. And so educational achievement and attainment for all students is my number two. And then I also feel, growing up in the public schools and having two public school teachers for in-laws, that focusing on teachers and their ability to be as productive and as wise and as strong as they can be in the classroom is number one, and their ability to talk directly and openly and honestly with the district, with administration, with teachers, with their fellow teachers and the parent community is number one, and making sure that communication is as open and honest as it can possibly be. So I would like to try to create an environment where we foster that as much as possible.
Great. So I would actually like to ask you more, but we don't have that much time.
It's okay.
So what's your plan for getting? Okay. So when you get on the board, the problem is there is so much to cover.
Yes.
There an enormous amount of information. So how do you plan to do that? How do you plan when you get on the board or if you get on the board to get that information?
Well, I do plan to be on the board, hopefully, and it's a big job. It's a daunting job. Newport Mesa is not a small school district by any stretch of the imagination. There is a lot of variables going into each school, each community, that kind of feed up into the district. the problems when you get to the district level are not easily solvable. The easy ones usually get solved first at the individual schools, and I think the tough decisions that have to be made at the district level require an awful lot of input and data. Most of my work experience has been driven by data driven solutions, where you take a look at national best practices, you take a look at the research, what has been working in which communities and why, and you try to implement that. You take a look at your own community and why is that going to be the best thing for your own community, and you try to implement new programming. I don't think we need to reinvent the wheel with every issue, but I believe that data-driven decisions are the best policy-making decisions. I think that the community can offer support there. I know there's a lot of groups out there that are interested, citizens groups and teachers groups that are interested in the best outcomes for students in the school district, and I would certainly utilize them and work with them. I have lots of friends actually in education policy who do this for a living, who I would also reach out to, and I just think having an open mind and being receptive to new ideas and being strong enough to implement those is really the best way to go at the district level, and surrounding yourself with good people who make smart decisions and listening to them.
Absolutely. So, and it's daunting. It's really a daunting task.
Yes,
I try to keep up with everything.
I talked with a friend of mine about term limits who works for the district, and I said, I know it's been an issue, because he asked me what I thought about that, and I said it seems like you need to be on there for a little while to kind of get what you need to know, and I said so, but I think the consensus is around 8 years, and he laughed at me. He said, nope, you'll need 12. And just because of the amount and the volume of work at the district level, so yeah, it's a big job.
So Newport Mesa, I mean, it's a great district, but it does have some problems. So what do you think is the biggest problem facing the district right now? Let's say in the coming year.
Yeah, in the coming year. Well, there's two main issues. It seems like obviously they've had some issues with curriculum, which to me is sort of the number one job of the school district, is to make sure that the curriculum works and is making kids learn and giving them the tools to achieve and be successful. So I'm concerned, obviously, as a parent with 2 kids in the district, that the math curriculum still seems to be in flux. The pathway from kindergarten to 12th grade, it's not clear yet what exactly they're going to do, and how it's going to work best for all students. I didn't hear a lot of commentary during the middle school math curriculum discussion about that, and I have concerns about all of the students and how they're going to be able to work these new curriculums. So I'd like to see the middle school math curriculum integrated with the high school curriculum, as was brought up by several parents at the last board meetings. That seems to make the most sense to me. So curriculum certainly, and programming that allows students to be successful, and certainly the safety issue. But the safety issue for me, as I mentioned, is a little bit more about creating safe environments and safe spaces for students at school, so that they can be who they are and they can be successful in whoever they are, the way they are, and that's accepted and tolerated and even championed and promoted. And so to do that, and I think to give students a safe place to be who they are, you need more mental health counselors, and we need social workers, and we need school nurses, and we need more people invited into the school to become a permanent part of the school that are safe places for kids. So, yep.
That's great. Yeah. Could not agree more. So for fun, Michelle. Okay, so what's your favorite book?
Oh God! So I did see this on your previous interviews, and
it actually says a lot about people, what their favorite. So you can't make it up. You have to really say what your favorite book is.
Well, I mean, growing up, good grief, I read like a crazy person. I was a bookworm. My mom caught me in bed at 3:00 in the morning with a flashlight and books. So I was a terrible bookworm, but But now in my adult life, I probably have more books stacked on my dresser than on my nightstand than I've been able to get through. I was laughing because I was looking at the books and I'm like, oh, this kind of does say a lot about me, I guess. My mother gave me Jennifer Palmieri's Dear Madam President. It's a little book about this big that I've been flipping through, but is a great read and talks about, women going for it and women in leadership. A good friend of mine gave me the book Letters to Sam by Daniel Gottlieb. I keep reading it and putting it down mostly because it makes me cry, and then I can't get through it. And but it's a beautiful book written with a lot of love and a lot of heart about life's lessons for your kids. And then my neighbor gave me a book called Mommy Needs a Raise because quitting is not an option. So that's also sitting on my nightstand.
Is that Julie?
No. It's my neighbor two doors down.
That sounds like Julie.
I know.
Okay, so all right, so let's move on to what are you through now?
Yeah, that's it.
So who's the person?
I mean, there's more books.
Oh,
but
I know. Right. What was your favorite book as a kid, though?
Oh, gosh. As a kid, I read all Judy Blume. I read all the Nancy Drew books. I read, all the Laura Ingalls Wilder books. I read...
she's under some criticism now, which is really weird.
I know. It's interesting.
I don't know. It's so weird. Okay, so what person do you most admire? Living or dead?
I know. Well, this, truthfully, what jumped out at me when I was thinking about this, because, there's a lot of women in leadership that I admire. But if I really do, I think about it, and it's kind of amazing in terms of what I think the role of teachers are in a school and the role they play in our kids' lives. Is my in-laws are both former teachers. My father-in-law taught and my mother-in-law taught in the Downey School District for their whole careers. And my father-in-law is still gets letters and calls and emails from former students. And, Downey, I think at the time when he was teaching was maybe, a little bit of a struggling community, and he implemented a whole new program for students at the high school level to get them involved in like the new technology of videos and teaching kids how to make sort of their own videos and record things and do. I don't know exactly what
you did a lot of good things. So you're kissing up to your relatives.
I am kissing up to my relatives, but I mean, he gets letters from them that say to this day that program gave them confidence, gave them a direction, gave them a way to go in their lives that they would have never have had without him.
Yeah, I love him right now.
That I know, and he still gets invited to weddings, and I mean, like he's amazing, and to me that just really embodies where your focus needs to be at the district level is on the teachers. The teachers are the people who do this work. The teachers are the ones who inspire these kids and who motivate them to be the best that they can be, who get them out in the world on a career path that they turn around and thank their teacher for, later on in life and invite them to their weddings. So, I mean, to me, that's the best thing you can do as a human being is to inspire somebody to be better than they thought they could be. So
well said, and all the teachers out there are going to be crying.
Oh,
okay. So I just want to say before we say goodbye that your website, which I didn't do for Michelle, your website is www.murphy, spelled out FOR, not the cute way, Newport Mesa.
Yes.
.com. So www.murphy for newportmesa.com.
Murphy for Newport Mesa.com.
Thanks, Michelle.
Thanks, Sandy.